Got my teeth back. I just can't talk with them yet though. Good morning and welcome back to Math UK. And if I'm talking quiet, that's because I'm at Ratherheath. I chose Ratherheath today purely and simply because it's a lot of high ground, and if it's raining and there's a lot of water in the lake, which it is because the boathouse swim is underwater at the moment, then you can still fish here. There's plenty of high ground. The rain's coming again. It is a horrible, windy, soggy day, but I don't care. I've got a chance to get out for a few hours and I'm bloody well going to do it. I'm in peg 8. I've called that the ambush swim because it's this narrow gap between the two sides of the lakes. So at some point something's got to come through. So that's why I'm fishing here. I haven't seen any signs of life anywhere else, so I'm going to give it that shot there. So very much back to basics with the rig. Doesn't get much more simple than that. Very, very basic rig indeed. Simple hair rig. I've got some pre-soaked boilies and I've got some crumb that I made last night. Just broke up some boilies and some pellets and everything. So that's going to be my bait for today. Very simple. Well, I may try actually a pink pop-up on the other one. So I'll have a pink and yellow. This time we've gone for the wild berry with a bit of halo soaked in it. So I'm just going to put that right under my rod tips basically. So I'm up and running now. Got my 2 rods in. So anybody who has seen me recently, especially on the winter session that I did down at Baden Hall with my amazing flooded lake, will know that I bought 2 rods and I bought 2 reels. Well, they've been absolutely fantastic, but a place like this, a 13-foot rod isn't exactly what you want. So I've been out and treated myself again, and this time I've been out and bought myself 2 of the Nash dwarf rod.
Good grief, it gets worse and worse.
10 footers, 3.2 test curve, or 3.25, and I also bought a couple of those Nash dwarf big pit reels, which is a bit of a contradictory in itself. So, and there they are. I'll give you a closer look later. They're perfect for this type of venue in my mind. Whether you use them as they advertise on the way to work remains to be seen. I very much doubt it. But yeah, 2 little rods, 2 little reels. I quite like them actually. This is the first time I've used them. I've had a knock on the right hand rod already. And yeah, we'll see how we get on with them. It's a bit unusual to use such a small system for me. I'm always used to bigger reels and bigger rods, but yeah, I quite like them. They fit on my pod as always because of the shrink handles. If I use the shrink handles, I can fit them on that pod, as I previously said last time. Yeah, the weather has been kind to us so far. It has rained a couple of times, but nothing bad. I've got my 2, I'll show you my 2 spots where I'm fishing now. They're not very far out. One's just under the under the trees to my left in the margin, the other one sort of middle for diddle. So let's point that out to you now. So here, I've got one rod just about there, just underneath that, just the other side of those trees. And the other one is about there, middle for diddle. That's where I am. Let's have a closer look at the rods. I also got two of the little rod sleeves to go with it as well, the dwarf rod sleeve. So all in all, it's quite a nice little package, and they do tuck down very tiny. There's a lot of talk about how brittle the tips are, and I was chatting with somebody just yesterday, and they were saying to me that yeah, their mate had one of these and they ended up snapping the tip. But they do tell you do's and don'ts when it comes to these rods, and one of them being don't extend your rod with your line clipped up and your hook still attached, and if your spool isn't loose, then you can end up snapping the tip of your rod. Well, I don't do that anyway, because every time I finish fishing I pack it away and I remove the hook, and I never keep it on. I never keep the hook and the weight on at all, never. So I always cut it off and start afresh every single time. So that's not likely to happen to me. Whether I break the tips or not, that's a different thing. But yeah, kind of other people turned up now. I can see some people over there that have turned up. There's more cars over by the car park over there, and I've got some neighbours who've just moved in next door, just setting up now. So all in all, it's very good. It is a popular place, and I'm not surprised, because it's a lovely place too. It's pretty much as wild as, you know, a lot of the swims are like the one we're in now. We have been here before. I'll have a walk around and show you. I did a session, I think last year or the year after. I haven't been for a while, to be fair, and I did a session just here. I'll just show you now. So this is where I was last time. I was over there on a peg, and I caught a bream, and I noticed there was a lot of fish that were moving in and around that little island over there. So I brought my kit to this location and set up here. And I got a run almost immediately, but nothing after that. There was a bivvy over there this morning. Now, I didn't purposely fish this spot because of the guy that was right opposite. I didn't want to intrude onto his fishing, so I just went round the corner and chose the location that I'm at. And I brought my shelter with me, because obviously because of the rain. So very light setup. Yeah. I'm on peg 8. There we go. Yes, so I went and bought some more rods. It's just rods and reels. I always fancied some short rods for here. I really did. I just thought they're more suited for this water. I mean, if you was to look and see the furthest point at any one point, is 50 yards. So you don't need big 13-foot rods that will cast to the end of the world. And because of a lot of the overgrown trees and everything, rods are much more hard, difficult to handle. You're always getting caught up. I mean, my first cast of the day, straight into the tree. But fortunately, I managed to get everything back. Now, you would have noticed on my rods I was using a clear line. I won it at the CHUF charity fishing event, and it was Daiwa something or other, sensitive, something like that. Daiwa sensor, something like that. Not very highly rated line, to be fair, but it's all I had in stock at my house. So I thought, what the hell, I'll put it on my rods, see if it's any good, give it a try at least. At least I can get out fishing as opposed to going out and buying another spool of line. So I had it, I've used it, see how we get on with it. If it doesn't perform like people say it doesn't, then fair enough, take it off and I'll buy some decent stuff. But yeah, no issues with it at the moment. So there you go. Yeah, it's glad to be back out. It is, I did say I was going to do a lot more fishing this year. I'm definitely trying, very trying if you ask the missus. Yeah, I've got to talk about the CHUF charity later today. We've got to get that up and running, so I'm going to do a little separate video whilst I'm here advertising the CHUF charity, the event, and then hopefully we'll get some links on it and you can all start getting booked in for this year. Really good to be out and about again. I know it's only been a few months, but again, work. I've handed over another project, so that's good. Good to get that pressure off my shoulder. Now I'm doing some snagging for other jobs in and around the area. So it's still manic, but the pressure's off me because I've handed over the job. It's just a few bits and bobs to do. I'm really pleased about that. Yeah, I quite like the new rods and reels. Perfect. I think they're absolutely perfect for here. Time will tell. Let's get a fisher. Let's get them christened. Let's get a fish on them. Eh? I mean, literally underarm cast. I think they call this. I call it the ambush swim. I think everyone else calls it the channel swim, which is pretty clear as to why they call it that. They've got to come through, or if they do, they're going to come through here. So I can't really get, because of the overgrown, I can't cast as where I want to be underneath that far bank over there. There's a perfect little spot, but it's just, I'm just going to get caught up in it. What ideal here, and here we go again, ideal here would be a baiting pole, a big long baiting pole to get you just underneath those trees. And I did have one, but I've absolutely no idea where it's gone. I must have left it, because I can't find the bugger. It's not in my garage, and I know it's not in my garage because I cleaned it all out over the Easter holidays. That's what I was doing, garage clearing, like many of us. Got a little bit of work to do on the home this year. I've got a leak in my roof, unfortunately, so I've got to fix that the first opportunity I get, which wouldn't take very long. It'd take me a day to sort out. I live in a bungalow, so it's not that far to fall off. And I've got about 50 to 60 flags to lay this year, and then that's pretty much the garden taken care of. And I've already pre-warned my better half and told her that my intentions are to be fishing a lot more this year. So whether it's here, Clear Barrow, or whether it's Clear Water, I don't know. We've got the Blogger Social again this year, all the way down in Devon, so it's a long way to go. But Dave's driving. His turn. Yeah, so it's I'm definitely planning on doing more. I'd like to go back to Baden Hall as well and give that a try. Because I had that knock on my rods, on my right hand rod earlier, I may just bring that in, make sure I've still got a bait on it. There's a lot of silverfish and other types of fish that could quite easily mop up, so your baits aren't going to last too long. So I haven't got many particles out. I've just got like a little PVA bag, mesh bag, just like that. If there's lots of little fish clinging up in and around the bait. So I want to check, really, see if my presentation's still alright. Yeah. I know it's a bit of disturbance, but fish will come through here quickly. I can imagine them just using it to get through as opposed to hanging in and around the area. So if I've missed the opportunity or I've been had already, I don't know. So let's have a look at my baits. Let's make sure that right hand rod is still fishing. Just put another PVA bag in it, just plop it back out again, take a couple of minutes, and at least then I got the confidence to know that there is still something out there being presented. So yeah, let's get that done. Well, I picked up a leaf. On the front of the spool,
this fast drag is really fast. A couple of clicks and it does make all the difference. So literally a couple of turns and that stiffens up really tight. A couple of clicks and it's good to go. So it's really tight. So it's quite good actually. Quite like that. Yeah, happy with them. I like the setup, very good.
So very short line on the end of my rod. I've clipped up. See if I can just get over to that bank. The other side there. Ooh. Just clipped the tree, but I got in the water. That's the main thing, so I'm happy with where that is. The smell of the pine is amazing. You can smell the pine trees as the wind wafts through. It's absolutely lovely. So what I've done now is I've put one on the far bank, just there, but I actually clipped the tree as it went in, so it was a close call. I nearly got hung up in the tree, but I managed to get it in the water. So let's just see where that one goes. I did have it down here, but let's just put it over there. I just got a better feeling where it is now. I'm just going to use the bag and the bait. I'm not going to put any boilies over there. Just leave it as it is for now. Now, although I've put a back lead on my right hand rod, I've not put a back lead on my left hand rod, and I've purposely left the line high in the water. I just want to see if I get any liners, see if there's any fish moving through. So I have definitely done that on purpose. So it'll be interesting to see if my line goes, see if I've got any movement coming through that way at all. So that's what I've done. Be a good indicator. So if I do get a liner and I see my line pull left or right, I know that there's fish in the area, and I'm probably just that little bit too far one way, and I need to bring it back a bit. That's my chain of thought. It's a standard tactic that everybody uses, or watermanship, if there is such a word. As somebody asked me on my last video when I mentioned the term watermanship, asked me if I just made that word up. Probably, yes. I can say this with confidence that if I'd have had my 13-foot rods here and I tried to get over to that bank, I couldn't have done it because I would have just been straight in those trees. But the fact that I've got 3 foot shorter rods means that I have the ability to be able to cast over there. But although I did have a very short line at the end, so it's not a distance cast, it was more of a trial and error. I did clip up, like I said, but bigger rods wouldn't have been able to get over there. I would have just been straight in that tree. So I'm glad I got them. I'm glad I've got those shorter rods. It means that I can do what I've just done. So it's a bonus, isn't it? Or is that me just trying to justify myself for buying more rods and reels? Do I need to justify it? No. That's why I do overtime, so I can afford it. I was having a look at these different shelters that you can get. Ideally, just sort of something lightweight that you can pop up for a day's fishing, and where you don't have your bivvy. This actually is turned out to be quite an ideal thing. All I did is take the front out of it, so very lightweight. 2 poles and a couple of pegs, and away you go. So I've got the shelter that I need, especially in the Lake District, because it's predominantly rains up here. So yeah, instead of having to fork out for another bivvy, I just had a look at what I had in the garage, and here this one was, and it's absolutely fine. It's a bit small when I put a bed in it, but it's probably the only bivvy that you could probably fit on here. It's not the pegs aren't very big here. So this would, if I was to stay overnight, I would just put the front in and away you go. Or if it's summer, I probably wouldn't even bother doing that. It's fish as it is. But yeah, it's turned out alright, to be honest. I'm quite happy with it. It saved me a few £100. Because they're mad money, aren't they? Mad money. Ooh. Ooh. Bit of movement there, right above my right hand rod. Never like that. Nice to have the sun. I know it's sort of a bit sporadic, but it's nice. Didn't expect it. Thought it was going to get wet. Sunday afternoon fishing. Who'd have thought? Takes about half an hour to get here. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of this. I have said previously, the rules here are one night only, which is a bit disappointing because I'd love to come here for a full weekend. But what you've got to do is you're allowed to fish from sun up to sundown on the day that you're fishing, and you can do one night. So technically, if you was to get here at first light on Friday morning, you could fish all the way till Sunday night with just the one night. So you can technically sort of get just about 36 hours, maybe 36 hours. It's probably the longest you can do. It's a shame, really. I don't know why they don't do 2 nights. It's and I know they limit the bivvies, which is a fair shout. I understand that, but if you've got to book on anyway, so yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do 2 nights here and get a weekend here, a full weekend. You know, Friday night, Saturday night. That'd be awesome. But unfortunately, they don't do it yet. That may change in the future. Who knows? But it is probably the only. It does stop me coming here more often because of that rule. Because I like to go for a couple of nights at least. You know, at least good session then, isn't it? A weekend, but one night just means that you're messing around a lot more. You know, you don't feel like you've had a long time when you're just doing one night. Come on, fishy. Come on. Not a lot going on at the moment. I have had a knock on the right hand rod. But the reason for this little short video is, you've probably guessed it by now, is to advertise the fact that it's soon going to be time for this year's CHUF social. CHUF standing for Children's Hearts Unit Fund. It is totally a charitable event, and Paul has done a lot of work again this year trying to organise it for you. If you wish to attend, if you'd like to come along and join us for that session, please do. The more the merrier. It was great numbers last year, and I hope that we can even do better this year. We raised Paul raised an awful lot of money, puts a lot of hard work into it. The location is Norton Disney. There are 2 lakes that we are exclusively booking. The cost of the event, should you wish to attend, is, I'll put it here somewhere. The dates of the event, I will put that here for you. And I hope you can join us. It is an absolutely fantastic time, even if they are from the East Coast. Don't know why I'm bothered whether I come from Lancashire or Yorkshire or not. I'm from Somerset. But anyway, yeah, please join us if you can. It's going to be a fantastic time. It was last year, it's going to be this year, and I look forward to seeing you. Just below the comments box you will see a little grey box. If you click on that box, it will open up, and on there will be all the details of who to contact, where to contact, yada yada yada, so that you can get yourself booked in. And I know for a fact that this year is going to be very busy, so don't delay. Get your dipper in straight away so that you can attend. It really is a worthwhile event. Can't wait to go, actually. I've been looking forward to it all year, and I hope that I'll get a fish out of the water this time, although I spend most of the time walking around with the camera than I do actually fishing. But that's by the by. It's charity at the end of the day. So yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you then. Well, as I said, because I've got no back legs on, there is definitely something moving in and around my right hand rod, because I just watched the line twitch from left to right, so there's definitely getting a liner, which is good because it means there's something in that area. I'm just going to leave my baits where they are. Not going to mess with it yet. But yeah, oh, here we go. Left hand rod. Little bit of a knot there. There's definitely something in the area right now. Whether it's a pike chasing little sprats or not, I couldn't tell you. But something's going down. Come on. It is taking some time to get used to the little rods and the smaller reels, but I guess that's just because I'm used to having something bigger in my hand. Come on, a little bit of a drop back there, was that? A little bit of a knock. Smells gorgeous. Come on. Last half hour. Give me some. Go on. Give me something. Be good to me. The concept of coming carp fishing for the day is quite a new one to me. But I must admit, when you come to somewhere like this, it is quite enjoyable. And everyone that I've met today has been very friendly, so I can't fault it really. I mean, I'm just looking along here now at these pegs, and it's so natural and wild. And yes, there are on the other side, you can see decking, but on this side it's predominantly not decking. It's just, as you say, it's purely wild and no real proper swims, just natural. And I think that makes a massive difference when you come to a place like this. It looks and feels tremendous, and I said earlier, the smell of these pines is just gorgeous. And I know I'm into the last 45 minutes now, but I've really enjoyed it. I've had a couple of knocks, so it's been a little bit exciting, but it doesn't matter. It's the whole concept, the whole idea. I mean, one of the lads came by earlier and said that recently it's predominantly been difficult. Even some of the dab hands who know the lake very well are struggling at the moment. Clear Barrel, a bit further up the road, is doing well, but this one hasn't caught on yet. This one hasn't started to catch yet, so still a bit winterish maybe. Which is fine for me, don't mind in the slightest. Yeah, when it comes to the rods, yeah, new rod, new reel, yeah, a little bit difficult to get used to start with, but perfect for this location. So that's my go-to rods for this location now, and I'm more than happy with them. So I'm really pleased with that. Mr. Heron seems to be fishing over there. He hasn't had anything either. Okay, well that concludes my Sunday session. It's been very uneventful, however, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I do like coming here, so never mind, better luck next time for me. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.